Guys, I have some big news. Big news to share with you guys, and I want to share it before we start today's video because it's really exciting. Over the weekend, I spoke with Stephanie and we did nail down the date for the first Comics and Beer in over a year. That's right. And we're going to try to make it a weekly live stream once again. So Comics and Beer is coming back, and it's going to come back on November 8th. That's not this Friday, that's next Friday, November 8th. And we're going to try to start around 9:30, but it could be our old time slot of 10 o'clock. So I'll probably put up the live stream notice next Monday, so that way you guys can notify yourself. There's a little button that normally pops up. You can notify yourself when we go live, which you should. And it's just going to be a 1 hour live stream of my wife and I talking about all the latest comic book news. And we'll probably, sway more towards the TV and movies and stuff like that, because Stephanie is more involved with that kind of stuff right now. But it's so much fun. It is so much fun to hang out with you guys, drink a beer, and talk comic books. It's like the best. So next Friday, November 8th, mark it on your calendars. Comics and Beer is back. And that is the big news. That is the big announcement. So now that is over, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to the channel. And guys, today is Tuesday. What is today? Tuesday, October 29th of 2024. And we're just one day away from the best day of the work week. And you guys know what day that is. It is New Comic Book Day. That is the day we get our hands on those new stories, those new covers, the new amazing interiors. Everything that we know and love about New Comic Day is happening tomorrow. And this week for me is a small week, a very small week, and I'm actually pretty excited about it. I was able to get all my reading in done yesterday, which was really nice because I didn't feel cramped in trying to get it done over the weekend, because it was Jack's birthday over the weekend, our 9-year-old. Well, he's 9 now. He turned 9 on Sunday. That is the last birthday of this household for the year. October's finally over. I started my diet yesterday. Ugh, gross, I know. Who wants to diet? But I gained 5 pounds over the month of October, and I want to lose those. And I want to continue on my weight loss journey for the rest of the year and into 2025, which is crazy to say. We're almost at 2025. But this video right here, I got a little rambly right there. This video right here is your Wednesday pull list, which is your hype video for New Comic Book Day. I'm going to cover all the books that are on my pull list. I'm going to tell you my best covers that are coming out this week. I'm going to go over my top 3 anticipated comics. And then I'll go over everything else on my pull list in the not top 3, but the books you're going to see. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and check out my pull list. Now, as you guys can see, normally my pull list starts here and goes all the way to over here. I normally have like 20 plus comic books on my pull list, but there's only 12. Almost single digits, which I don't think has ever happened, ever. In my comic collecting career, I've always collected so many comics. I love reading new comic books. But you guys can't see what these books are, so let me go ahead and throw them up on screen right now. Guys, there are a total of 12 comic books on my pull list this week. And if we break down this list a little bit more, there is 1 new #1, 3 DC books, 3 Marvel books, and 6 independent titles. Now, I did read the previous issue to every single book that you see on screen right now, so every single one of these books could make the top 3 list. Now, there is 1 book on the chopping block this week, so let's go ahead and find out what that book is, and then we can get into the good stuff. Now, I never like when there is a book on the chopping block, but guys, not every single comic book coming out every single week can be a good book. It's sad, but it's true. And I was really excited to pick up this book once I heard the creative team was Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly as the writing duo, because they usually put out really good stuff. But guys, NYX has been a letdown since issue #1. I think the first or second issue were okay, and then it plummeted. I think the first issue was pretty good, but then issue #2 stunk, issue #3 got worse, and issue #4, which is coming out this week, I am not excited to pick up at all. Now, you might see this on the cover level list in the future, because there are some really cool characters in this book, and really cool characters, normally there is a good cover at some point for the series. But right now, I cannot be picking this book up anymore because it's not worth my money. So this book has been chopped from my pull list. All right, guys, that is the one book on the chopping block. Let's go ahead and dive into the positivity. That is all the amazing covers that are coming out this week, and there are a bunch. So let's go ahead and dive in to my cover lover picks. There are a bunch of really cool covers coming out this week. But guys, just a reminder, these are the books that I like, or I should say the covers that I like. And the art that I like might not be the art that you like. So make sure you guys are going over to League of Comic Geeks, checking out all the new covers coming out every single week, because there might be a cover that I missed that you absolutely love, and you never want to miss out on a great cover for a comic book. So League of Comic Geeks is the best place to make sure you guys are finding all the amazing artwork every single week. All right, let's dive into the covers that I really like. So first up is the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 60 with the variant in the 1/100 Virgin Ratio variant done by Adam Hughes. Now, I personally really like the trade dress over the Virgin because you get the little word bubbles, and the word bubbles are so good. So good. They're up on screen right now. Read it for yourself. But Adam Hughes, this is just a home run in my opinion. It is so good. Now next up is the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 60 with the variant cover done by Patrick Gleason. It's a Gleason cover. I love the pumpkin bombs because like their faces are animated and like they're coming down at Spider-Man. It's a really action-packed cover, and it's gorgeous. I love it. Next up is Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue number 2 with the variant cover done by J. Scott Campbell. Now, this is not my favorite J. Scott Campbell, but I do like the way Poison Ivy looks at the bottom of the cover, which is really nice. But Batman looks kind of lame in my opinion, but it's all about the Poison Ivy. All right, guys, next up is Wolverine Revenge, issue number 3 with the 1/25 ratio variant done by Ryan Stegman. It's just a really cool Wolverine cover in my opinion. Now next up is another cover for Wolverine Revenge issue number 3. This is the variant cover done by Marco Mastrazzo. Again, just another really cool Wolverine cover. This one has him fighting Omega 3, and it's badass. All right, guys, next up is Captain America issue number 14. Now this might be the best cover of the week. I might say that another cover later on in this video is better, but this one is really good. This is the Doom variant done by Dan Panosian, and it is just absolutely fantastic. You get Doom sitting down with Cap's shield in front of him, covered in blood, like he used the shield to kill or beat the crap out of Captain America. Absolutely badass. All right, guys, next up is Nice House by the Sea, issue number 4 with the cover B variant done by Gabriel Hernandez Walta, and it is just really cool. Really, really cool. I don't know. If you're reading Nice House by the Sea and Nice House by the Lake, you will know this is Walter, and he's like this alien figure, and whenever he goes into his alien form, he like looks like all mysterious and like, I don't know, wavy, I guess. I don't know. This just looks exactly like he does in the interiors, and it's so creepy and so cool. I freaking love it. Now, next up is Thundercats issue number 9. Now, there are a bunch of different versions of this cover, so let's go over those really quick. There is the cover A, the cover H Metal Virgin, the cover I Virgin, the cover K 1 in 10, the cover L 1 in 15 Virgin Foil variant done by David Nakayama. And these are just some great renditions of the Thundercats, like probably my favorite so far. Snarf looks awesome. Every single Thundercat looks freaking amazing. David Nakayama, man, so good. Now, there are some other covers for the same issue that I really like. Next up is Thundercats issue number 9 with the cover B. And there are multiple versions of this cover. The cover F foil, the cover G Virgin foil, the cover O, which is the 1 in 25 ratio variant done by Lucio Perillo. It's Perillo, man, and that's freaking Mumra. I love that his foot is on a skull. So freaking cool. Now, next up, we get 3 covers for Absolute Batman issue number 1, the second print. So first up is just the regular second print done by Nick Dragotta, which is hands down the freaking best. This cover is amazing. And this book, if you haven't read it yet, read it. It is so good. Now, next up is the second print foil variant done by Nick Dragotta. This is just like an interior panel put on the front, and I got to throw some foil on it. I'm picking it up, but I don't love it as much as the second print. Now, there is more. Next up is the second print variant done by Mike Deodato Jr., which is probably my favorite Deodato Jr. cover like forever. This is really, really good. Now, the last one up is the second print 1-in-25 black and white variant done by Nick Dragotta, which is that cover A, but black and white. But man, I think the color one is the way to go. That is so good. Now, I believe we really got 3 covers left. Next up is a little independent. It's called Kill Town, issue number 1. And the first cover that I really like for this is the cover D variant done by Rob Pryor. It is really good. You got that nice big red moon in the background, and like this character, she looks like both kind of mysterious and sexy, but she looked like she could kill you if she, like, you know, she probably has a sword down there or something. I don't know. She looks badass. Now, next up is Kill Town, issue number 1 with the cover A and the cover G metal variant. And this cover is just freaking awesome. It kind of looks like that same character in the cover D on like the main one. And then you got other characters throughout. It is just a gorgeous cover, in my opinion. Now, the last cover that I really like is Mark Spears Monsters, issue number 1 with the second print 1-in-20 ratio variant, which is the Halloween homage variant done by Mark Spears. Now, this book right here had the, what is it, Lady Frankenstein or Woman of Frankenstein or whatever, the female Frankenstein cover that was absolutely badass. I'll make sure I get an image of that and put it up on screen right now. But this cover right here is also super duper cool. All right, guys, those are all my cover lover picks for this week. If there is a cover that I missed that you absolutely love, link it down in the comments down below. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which is the new number 1. And there is one new number 1 on my pull list this week that I think you guys, and you should, be excited about. All right, guys, this is my one point in the video where I'm going to pause for a second and just ask you guys, if you guys are enjoying this video, could you do me a favor? Smash that like button. It really does help get this video out to more people. And this video has slowly been growing with viewership, and I can only thank you guys. So thank you guys so much for helping. And just remember, smash the like button. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out that new number 1. There is only one new number 1 on my pull list this week, and it is a one-shot. So this will be a quick and easy book for you guys to pick up and enjoy. And guys, this is Poison Ivy, Swamp Thing, Feral Trees, issue number 1. Now this is coming from the creative team of G. Willow Wilson, and it has art by Mike Perkins. Now why I am really excited about this book is because G. Willow Wilson's Poison Ivy run has been freaking incredible. I would say one of the best ongoing stories right now between Marvel and DC. And I think the only better one might be Moon Knight. Everything else kind of pales in comparison to those 2 books. I think Poison Ivy and Moon Knight are probably the 2 best ongoing at the big 2. They are just incredible stories. Now you take G. Willow Wilson, you give her Poison Ivy, and now you bring in Swamp Thing. That just sounds freaking amazing. So good. And Mike Perkins' art is pretty freaking fantastic. But let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this book. There is something wrong with the trees. A presence screaming out in pain, tearing, gnashing, and gnawing through the very fabric of the green, calling out for blood. In its wake, a trail of viscera and carnage is left, leading to a mystery that the Parliament of Trees has conscripted Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing to solve. Can the verdant villainess in the Avatar of the Green make their way into the heart of this homicidal wilderness and discover the source of this horror? Or will they find themselves the next victim of these feral trees? This story, brought to violent life by G. Willow Wilson and Mike Perkins, will answer these questions. But beware, this terrifying tale is not for the weak of heart. That sounds freaking awesome in my opinion, because I just loving everything that G. Willow Wilson is doing with Poison Ivy. I love Swamp Thing as a character, so let's freaking go. Now this is a 48-page book. It's going to cost you $6. Now let's go ahead and take a look at these variant covers, which I got to tell you guys, they're not very good. There is the cover B done by Mike Perkins, which is probably maybe the best, maybe? There is the cover C done by Clayton Crane, which is okay. There is the cover C done by Jessica Fong, which is okay. She's done some really good covers for the main Poison Ivy run. And there is the 1-in-25 ratio variant done by Ashley Wood, which normally I would love. I think this cover does look pretty good, especially Poison Ivy herself, but Swamp Thing looks a little weird, especially in the face, but that's my opinion. You guys let me know which cover you like the most down in the comments below. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move over to the next section, which is my top 3 books that I'm most excited to pick up because the previous issues were the best. All right, guys, this is another week where the indies are dominating the top 3 books that I think you guys should be excited to pick up this week on New Comic Book Day, which is October 30th of 2024. I don't think I said that at the beginning of the video. But indies are just the best right now. And guys, in the number 3 spot is Redcoat issue number 7. Now this is coming from the creative team of the writer Geoff Johns, art by Brian Hitch, and this book has slowly gotten better and better with every single issue. And I read issue number 6 yesterday. It was the end of the first story arc, and it was so good. So good. Now, why was it good? That's the big question. Why should you guys even consider picking up issue number 7 or going back and picking up the trade for that first arc and read that and then pick up issue number 7? It's because Geoff Johns is doing a really good job of taking little slices of history, like important things in history, and giving it a new magical sense or a new magical part of the world, and it's incredible. Like, one of the best things that I saw in issue number 3 or 4 was that the main character of Simon Pure, who is now immortal, found a bag of Johnny Apple seeds. And there was this big battle going up, and he knocked over the bag, and all these seeds like landed on the ground and instantly started sprouting into these incredible trees. Johnny Appleseed. That's like from a rhyme from when we were a kid, or a story when we were a kid. And you remember that. I remember Johnny Appleseed for like ever. And just being reminded of that small little piece of history and giving it these big magical moments in this book is incredible. It's so much fun. And the main villain in this book is George Washington, which is super cool. He was teased throughout the whole first story arc. He ended up not being the big bag of that first story arc, but I believe is going to be the big bag of the second story arc because he was teased in the final page of issue number 6, and it was so good. And Albert Einstein is Simon Pure's friend. He befriends him, I believe, in issue number 1, and he's a really cool character. The fact that he took Geoff Johns took this character of Einstein, who is like a very popular figure in the world. He's passed away at this point, but giving him like this whole alternate life in this story is so cool. I love it. Everything about it, because there's little history drops in every single issue. The writing is incredible. The dialogue is great. The pacing is really good. It gives you it starts off a little slow, but it has to give you that whole world building, and then it really ramps up in speed and action. It really is a great book. And Simon Pure, I love the fact that his last name is Pure, because he's not a pure person. He fights through a lot of self-doubt and self-hate and greed and not knowing if he should be doing the right thing or not, because he wants to preserve himself. And that's something I think a lot of us deal with. We worry about ourselves, but sometimes you got to worry about the greater good sometimes. And so it's just a great character, especially with the last name Pure, because he's not. He really isn't. And it's really good. It's a really good book. Everything at Ghost Machine right now is just a home run. Now, variants for issue number 7, there are 2. There's the cover B, done by Germaine Peralta, which is fantastic. This is probably one of the best Redcoat covers I've seen through 7 issues. This is so good. Now, there is a cover C done by V. Ken Marion, which kind of looks like a Frank Miller cover. It's not very good. I don't like it. I don't think they should have put this artwork on a cover for Redcoat. But man, that cover B is incredible. And also the cover A by Brian Hitch is also pretty decent as well. All right, guys, that is the number 3 book. Let's go ahead and find out what my number 2 is. All right, guys, in the number 2 spot is a book from Mark Millar. Can you guys guess what it is? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. It is Nightclub Volume 2, issue number 3. And like I said, this is coming from the fantastic writer of Mark Millar and has art by Juan Ramirez. Issue number 2 was so good. A little bit of a story that you could see what was going to happen before it was happening, because we've seen this type of story before, not exactly with vampires, but with kids, right? So this story is following 3 vampires, and they are best friends. And in the first volume is when they get their powers and they become superheroes and they fight big bads. And at the end of that volume, there is a girl and 2 guys. The 2 guys are best friends. And the girl is the trio. This is a trio. One of the friends was in love with her, and the other friend was not. But then he realized he liked her a lot, and he started dating her, not knowing that his best friend was already in love with her. And at the end of volume 1, there was a big falling out. And the volume 2 has really been focusing on that fallout. And in issue number 3, or should I say issue number 2, we follow the best friend that was truly in love with the girl that is not dating her, and how he's dealing with it. And it was awesome. You could, like I said, you could kind of read where the story was going to go with the beats, but they were still big, shocking moments, and they were awesome. There was a moment that I was not ready for. So, this kid is running with a bad crowd right now, and this guy owes him money, and he finds out that that guy also owes this drug lord money. And so he goes to the drug lord, and he just like walks into this dude's place and beats the crap out of all the bouncers and all the way in, and just confronts this guy. And it was like, yo, what's up? Here's the money this guy owes you. Now we're clear, right? We're good. And the drug lord's like, you know what? I can use a guy just like you. How about you come work for me? And he's like, no, I'm good. And like, he ends up walking out of the place, not taking the job with the drug lord, and his gang, his like, group of cronies right now, were like, why did you do that? You could like make so much money with this guy. And he's like, do you guys forget? I'm a good guy. So even with him fighting with his best friends, he still is a good guy. I thought that he was going to break bad for a little while, but he doesn't, and it's awesome. But then he does something really stupid at the end of issue number 2. I should say halfway through issue number 2, and it's going to be bad for him and his friends. Cannot wait to see where this story is going to go. I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but it's vampires, it's superheroes, it's friendship, it's like, that teenage drama. It's almost like grommets, but with vampires. It is, well, not like grommets, because it's not funny, and the writing, it doesn't have that same nostalgia effect, but it's like dealing with that same kind of like teenage drama. It is so, so good. I love this book a lot. You guys should be checking it out. Mark Miller, Juan Ramirez. Friendship, man. It's like, it can be really hard sometimes, especially when you're a dumb kid. All right, guys, that is my number 2 book. Let's go ahead and find out what my number 1 book that I think you guys should be excited about this week, because the previous issue was so freaking good. All right, guys, the number 1 book that I think you guys should be excited to get your hands on this week is The Magic Order, Volume 5, Issue number 2. Also written by Mark Miller, and this book has art by Matteo Buffagini. This book, issue number 1 of volume 5, was a freaking shocker. I had no idea where Mark Miller was going to take this story. It's been evolving with every single volume, changing and really putting the weight of the Order on Cordelia Moonstone. And she's like the linchpin of every single volume. And you really lift her up in volume 4 to be like the head, like the true head of the Magic Order. And she's really seen to has like found her way as the leader in the beginning of volume 5. But then something happens and it's like, wait, what? How is she gonna get out of this? And there's obviously some bad people doing something to her. And again, I don't want to ruin the story for you, but it was done so well. I really have no idea how Cordelia is going to deal with this, how she's going to get herself out of this predicament. And that is the best part. When a book can tell a story and you think you got an idea of how it's going to go, like in Nightclub, I didn't know where the beats were going to go. There was little surprises here and there. But when a book can really trick you, or like just you have no idea where that story is going, and every single page you're like learning and getting excited, and it's just, that is some true craftsmanship. It was amazing. The pacing in this book is so perfect. The dialogue is amazing. And like I said, the mystery that he's building is so good. And if you like magic and you like magic stories and how magic can just be anything and everything and how the world can be twisted by magic, this is the story for you. It really is so, so good. And to see everything that from volume 1 to get to this point and like know what Cordelia has gone through and now this is happening to her. Again, I'm not telling you about the story, like all the beats, because I want you to go read this. Go read volume 1 all the way to volume 5 because you will not be disappointed. I promise you. This is one of my favorite comics over the last like 5 years or 6 years. However long volume 1 came out ago, this is one of my favorite. Like, hands down, one of my favorite. Every single volume has amazing art in it. Every single story is like so well told with so many little mysteries that reveal themselves to you, and you're like, wait, what? No way! This is so cool! And like blown away by some of the things he's willing to do to these characters. Characters die, and you're like, what? He's killing that character? What? This book is one of the best. I'm telling you. Please read The Magic Order. All right, guys, that was my number 1 book. Let's go ahead and dive into the not top 3, but the books you gotta see. All right, guys, this is the last part of the video, and I'm gonna go through all the rest of the books that are on my pull list, and I break them down into 3 categories. The okay, which are books I really cannot suggest to you guys because the stories were really just okay. The good, these are solid stories where I am enjoying them and you guys maybe want to check them out. And then the great, these are the books that almost made the top 3 list. And there's only a few of them because we've already covered a bunch. We've covered 4 so far, so that means there's only 8 books to cover. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The okay, we got Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue number 2. Now this is only okay because I think I didn't read the original story, and this book it didn't really engage me all that much, and it's a Batman story. I'm usually engaged immediately because Batman is amazing, but I really just didn't like the storytelling. The art was not that good in my opinion, and I didn't really like it. So it's in the okay. This could be chopped in the future. Now, I already mentioned NYX. Issue number 4 comes out this week. This book has been chopped, and this story really just was okay. And after having 3 issues of just okay, you're chopped, buddy. Next up, The Good. Thundercats issue number 9 comes out this week. Issue number 8 was solid. This story is getting better and better with every single issue, and I would not be surprised if this book jumps over to the great in a few weeks, or I should say a few months. Now, if they get a better artist on it, I think this book could immediately jump to the great, but right now, it's just a good, solid Thundercats story filled with nostalgia, and I love it. Now, guys, next up is Namor issue number 4. This continues to be a good read. There's some really interesting parts. There's some parts that are a little boring. That's why this is just in the good. This is written by Jason Aaron. He's a great storyteller. This is only a 6-issue mini, so we got 3 issues left. And I'm interested to see what Namor is going to do because he's very pacified right now, and he's not a pacified character. At some moment, he's going to become himself again. And what does he say? Rex Imperior or whatever? I don't know what he says. I completely forget. It's totally at the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it to come off the tip of my tongue. But it's a good book. It's solid, and with amazing covers by Alexander Lozano as well. All right, guys, next up is Nice House by the Sea. Issue number 4 comes out this week. I read issue number 3 yesterday. It's really intriguing. It's a very interesting story. There's just so much to remember from Nice House on the Lake and coming into this, and there's so many characters, and you're trying to remember who's who, because some of the characters, this is a spoiler, if you want to not hear the spoiler, just jump ahead probably about a minute, but some of the characters from Nice House on the Lake are in Nice House by the Sea. And it's confusing trying to remember all those characters plus the 12 new characters. I think it's 8 or 12 new characters in the Nice House by the Sea. And it's just so much to remember. And that's where I get a little confused, and that's why this book is in the good, because it's a lot, and I'm not keeping up. Because I'm probably reading too much, and that's another problem that I have. All right, guys, 2 books in the great, and this video is done. First up, Wolverine Revenge, issue number 3. I really liked issue number 2. It was super enjoyable, a little bit campy, some cheesy moments in it, but art by Greg Capullo is amazing. You got dialogue by Jonathan Hickman, which is great. The story is a little lame, I will admit, but overall, I'm really enjoying the story so far. That's why this book is in the great. It's also, the art by Greg Capullo is freaking incredible. And the last book that we're going to talk about this week, and the last book that's on my pull list this week, is Spawn 358. The Spawn series is really, really good. It's really good. I almost put this in the number 3 spot and reverse Red Coat in this because Spawn is just a super enjoyable series. It really is. It's building to something that is actually engaging me. I'm interested to see what's going to happen to Spawn, what's going to happen to this new character, and I can't remember her name. It doesn't matter. It's just this world is super cool right now. All the demons and angels are depowered. They're all being beat up basically by vampires. They're all fighting for power, trying to find new ways to power themselves up. it's just really, really cool. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. Also, the dialogue and the pacing is really great. I don't love the artwork. The artwork is meh. Maybe that's why this book did not make the grade, because the artwork is only okay. But the story is super solid. All right, guys, that is the last book on the not top 3, but the books you gotta see, and that means we can wrap this video up. All right, guys, we are at the end of today's video. Now, I just want to remind you guys one more time, Comics and Beer, November 8th, probably at 10 p.m. Eastern, maybe 9:30. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out over the next few days. Like I said, when I will post the live stream or the notify for the live stream on Monday, and there'll be a thumbnail. You guys can click it and like notify yourself when we go live. It's gonna be so much fun. Stephanie's just to be back on the channel. I am so excited about that. I'm so excited, and I know she is too, because she loves this community, even though she doesn't interact with it that much. But when we were doing the show for 2 years straight or 3 years straight, she loved it. She really enjoyed the community, and I cannot wait to get her back into the community. It's gonna be so much fun. So mark your calendar, come hang out for an hour. Make sure if you are of age, you bring a nice cold frosty beer, or mix yourself a nice cocktail. Sit down for an hour and let's talk comic books. It's gonna be so much fun. Yeah, so let's go ahead and continue this sign off. If you guys have watched from the beginning of the video all the way to this point right now, you guys know what you are. You guys are legends. Now, if you watch that video and you guys enjoy comic book content, but you're not subscribed, I'm just gonna say, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notification, and smash that like button. All right, guys, I will be back on Friday with my final order cutoff recommendations and speculation video. It's not gonna drop on Thursday because I just have a busy Wednesday and Thursday. So I'll do all my research over the next 2 days, and I'll probably record Friday morning and edit throughout the day and get you that video on Friday. So have yourself a great week, and I'll catch you guys on Friday. Have a great new comic book day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.